Blessings to you all. In this video I'm going to share with you my experience of working at DPD Logistics. They are a global delivery company, mostly working for major retail brands. They have a vast presence in Europe, but also in Asia, South Africa and Latin American countries. I was working as a warehouse operative, so that means I would go in, sign onto their register, and then I would be allocated to one of their bays, and they would have conveyor belts shooting down parcels for the length of my shift. So my responsibility was to basically pick up all the parcels that were shooting down from the bay that I was allocated to, and then I would have to load those parcels and place them onto cages. The cages all had individual postcodes, so there was about 7 or 8 different cages scattered around the warehouse, and you would constantly have to pick up the parcels and place them on the appropriate cages. So this required constantly walking to and from the conveyor belt to the cage, and sometimes you would have periods of very high volumes of parcels flowing down and of varying size and weight. So some would be very light and small, whilst other would be bulky and heavy, and if the conveyor belt was too busy, you were allowed to ask for some support from colleagues working in other bays who maybe were not experiencing such a high volume of parcels from their own end, and they could come and help you. So it was somewhat of a collaborative work environment to a certain extent, but otherwise, if you were okay, you could also just work individually and mind your own business as you were doing that. The environment is quite noisy because those conveyor belts, would obviously make a constant noise once they were operational. You would do this throughout the night. You will always have to wear high vis and safety boots, particularly during the morning at about 7 or 8 when drivers would come in. They would also bring the delivery vans in from outside to make it easier for them to load up the cages to load up the vans using the parcels stored onto the cages that you assembled throughout the night. And they would basically then have a brief meeting with the transport manager, and the transport manager was responsible for allocating their delivery route for the day. Mostly they delivered around the local area, so within, I would say, 10 to 15 mile radius. And obviously DPD delivered parcels for major retail brands such as Boohoo and Next, so they are a very busy operation, so you have to bear that in mind. You also have to work, you will be asked to work extra time. Whether you do it or not, it's up to you, but this could be asked of you on a regular basis if you work there. There was two type of people: agency staff and also contracted permanent employees of DPD. Some people start as agency, and then if they prove themselves to be reliable and capable of fulfilling the responsibilities of the job reliably, accurately and efficiently, may be offered a permanent contract. The pay was slightly above minimum wage, and there was no bonus structure and no overtime bonuses, so you have to bear that in mind. But ultimately we're working in a relatively safe and also warm environment, so it's the conditions of the warehouse are okay, as the one that I worked in was relatively new. There's minimal canteen facilities, there's no hot food counters, so you have to either use the vending machines or bring your own food, and that's obviously something that you might have to consider. But overall, you were just picking up the job quite straightforward, because all you're doing is basically picking up parcels and dropping them off onto the relevant cages. The only training that I had was some, seeing some videos about health and safety and safe manual handling. But yeah, that's pretty much it as far as my experience goes. Let me know if you have worked at DPD, or if you're working there, how you are finding it, and would you recommend it. And also, if you're working in other major logistical companies such as FedEx and DHL, how you finding it. I look forward to the feedback. Thank you.